So, you feel lonely, even when people are around you, even in a room full of conversations, even when your phone is full of messages, there is still something missing. And you tell yourself, if someone understood me, if someone stayed with me, and if someone was truly mine, then this feeling will go away. But look closely. Has it ever gone away? Or has it only paused temporarily? Because the moment they leave, the moment they get busy, the moment attention fades, that feeling quietly returns. So, what is really happening? Is loneliness truly about who is missing? Or is it just about what is sitting within you constantly? What we have been taught. From a very young age, you are taught something very subtle, that being alone is a problem. You hear things like, don't be alone too much, find your people, life is about relationships, you need someone to complete you. And slowly, without realizing, a belief gets planted that your emotional state depends on others. So naturally, when you feel uneasy, empty, restless, you don't turn inwards, you turn outward. You try to add people to remove a feeling, and sometimes it works for a while. But notice this carefully. If loneliness was truly about absence of people, then why do people in relationships still feel lonely? Why do people with families still feel alone? And why do people with thousands of followers still feel empty? Because the problem is not outside. The problem was never outside. The real problem. Loneliness is not the absence of a person, it is the presence of a belief. Let that sink in. A belief that says, I'm incomplete alone. I need someone to feel whole. Without others, I'm lacking. This belief is so deeply embedded that you don't even question it. You simply live from it. And when you live from that belief, every interaction becomes loaded. You are not meeting people freely, you are just meeting them to fill something. And that changes everything. Because now you are not connecting, you are depending, you are not sharing, you are seeking validation, you are not choosing, you are needing. And where there is a need, there is always fear. Fear of losing, fear of being ignored, fear of being replaced. And that fear is experienced as loneliness. Imagine you have a bucket, but it has a small hole at the bottom. Now you keep pouring water into it. More water, and more water. For a moment it looks full, but slowly it starts to empty again. So you think, I need more water. But the problem was never the water. The problem was the hole. People are like the water. The belief I'm incomplete is the hole. No matter how many people you pour into your life, the feeling will keep leaking out unless you address the hole, which is the real problem. In psychology, especially in attachment theory, we understand that early emotional experiences shape how we relate to others. If a person develops an anxious attachment style, they constantly seek reassurance. They fear abandonment. They depend on others for emotional stability. So even when love is present, they feel insecure. Why? Because the belief inside says, I'm not okay on my own. So the mind constantly scans for threat. And that internal instability is experienced as loneliness. Not because no one is there, but because you don't feel safe within yourself. Imagine a room with a constant low humming sound. At first, you don't notice it. But when everything becomes quiet, it becomes unbearable. So you turn on music, you call someone, you distract yourself. Not because you need noise, but because you cannot sit with that background discomfort. Loneliness is the background noise. People are the music. When the music stops, the noise is still there. Because it was never created by silence, it was always there within you. In cognitive theory, this pattern is linked to cognitive distortion. Specifically, emotional reasoning. I feel empty, so I must be alone. Dependency beliefs. I need someone to be okay. Your mind creates a story, and then you live inside that story as if it is the truth. So loneliness becomes not a reality, but an interpretation, the turning point. Real change does not begin by adding people. It begins by questioning what you believe. Ask yourself honestly, who told you that you are incomplete alone? Was it experience or was it conditioning? Have you ever actually explored being alone? without labeling it as loneliness? Or did you decide in advance this is something to escape from? Because the moment you label something as bad, you stop understanding it. You only try to avoid it. And avoidance keeps the belief alive, the deep inner work. Now don't try to fix loneliness. Instead, sit with it. Not with your phone, not with music, not with distractions, just you and the feeling. And gently ask, what am I actually feeling right now? Is it emptiness? Is it fear? Or is it restlessness? Or is it simply unfamiliar silence? Then ask, why do I want someone right now? Is it connection? Or is it relief? Because those are two very different things. Connection is beautiful, but relief is dependency. And dependency always carry fear. The realization. When you stop running, when you stop labeling, when you stop believing the story, something surprising happens. The feeling changes. What once felt like emptiness starts feeling like space. What once felt like heaviness starts feeling like stillness. And slowly, loneliness dissolves into quiet. Not because someone arrived, but because the belief slowly starts to leave. Now, this does not happen overnight. It is a practice, like the learned belief. It will take time to release that belief. People are beautiful, relationships are meaningful, connection adds color to the life, but they are not foundation. You are the foundation. If you make others your foundation, you will always feel unstable. But when you are rooted within yourself, people become a choice, not a necessity. And that changes everything. Loneliness does not end when someone comes into your life. It ends when the belief that you are incomplete finally leaves your mind. You are not lonely because no one is there. You are lonely because of what you believe about being alone within yourself.